kill the brain and you kill the ghoul.
Welcome to the Cold Dead Heart Horror Show, your ultimate destination for all things horror. Each week we'll dive deep into chilling world of horror movies, bringing you the latest news, in-depth reviews, spine-tingling discussions. Whether you're a die-hard horror fan or just looking for your next fright fix, we've got you covered. Get ready to explore the darkest corners of cinema and discover what makes your heart race. This is Cold Dead Heart, where horror never ends. And getting us started, today is Lena.
Hello guys, so I'm going to be quite fast about most of them, because I have a lot for you. My first movie news is that a movie called Wake Up will be released this year. Wake Up is made by the directing crew RKSS, who is also known for the movies Turbo Kid and Summer of '84, which is like one of the most underrated movies in my opinion. It's Blue Fox Entertainment picked up the North American rights for the movie Wake Up. It will release across the US and in Canada for now, but hopefully we'll see an international release once it got more famous. Wake Up is about young activists who become trapped in a furniture store after an environmental protest, and they soon fall prey to someone hunting them in that furniture store. I don't know what to think about it. Just sounds like another buddies type horror movie of like Gen Z being Gen Z.
Oh dear.
And being hunted. But maybe it'll be good.
Buddies.
Yeah, but maybe it'll be good. I have my hopes up because Summer of '84 was great.
I kind of have my hopes up too. As soon as you started talking about it, I've seen stuff about it, and I like that the villain in quotation marks is actually out for revenge against these kids as well.
Yeah.
And so I'm kind of like, might be good. This might be something.
Oh, kind of like a bit like buddies with like these activist Gen Z kids, and a bit Thanksgiving of like having a revenge on teenage kids that did something to that person. Yeah, I'll be watching it once it'll come out internationally, hopefully. Then the second thing is the movie X by Ty West is re-releasing in cinemas for one night only. Ooh. It will release this month on Tuesday, June 18th. This will happen because Ty West said at the end of the movie, viewers will get a sneak peek at next scene. So whoever wants to be the first to know a bit more about Maxine might have to get a ticket and watch it, even though I think it's only in American cinemas, I would guess. Also, another trailer for Maxine has dropped, where we see that the particular main character, without spoiling, will go against a famous serial killer at that time. I think many of us have watched the trailers. I personally am always split when movies and series like bring in real life serial killers, like 1984, like American Horror Story 1984 did, I think, with Richard Ramirez, because it always goes wrong with the fan base. Yeah. I think.
Well, and plus it's real victims, so I kind of have questions about that.
Same with the Dahmer series and all that. Like, it's real people that happen to, yeah. So we'll see. I still have my hopes up. I love the X series so far. So hopefully. But news that will definitely be exciting for all of us. Creeper's back. Mark Duplass, who we all know as our favorite creep, posted a TikTok video in which it was hinted that a new Creep project will be coming soon. As of the 4th of June, we got the confirmation that a series called The Creep Tapes is in the work. Duplass will co-create with the movie director Patrick Bryce, who will also take the director's chair. Duplass said that the series, and I'm going to quote him on this one, The series is based on a collection of videotapes in the secret vault of the world's deadliest and most socially uncomfortable serial killer, who hires his victims to film him for the day under false pretenses. Each episode will be about a new victim in that case. And I'm very excited for that one.
I'm all for that, because wasn't it in the first one, like, we see at the end or at some point he has all these, like, CDs or tapes, and there's just hundreds of
Yeah,
them,
that's
and
the
you're
first
like,
one.
my God,
Mhm.
that's the
No,
first
that's
one. Like, how long
yeah.
have you been doing this?
Yeah.
And I've always been, like, in love with the idea that they would do something like this, an
Yeah.
anthology type. So I'm so excited for that.
Me too, and that the main character will come back for it, that the movie director will come back for it, and I don't know, I'm just very intrigued by that killer. Like, how does he do what he does all the time?
I mean, the guy that plays the main character, I read up, like, most of their lines are just made up on the spot.
Improvised.
Yeah,
Yeah.
improvised. That's it. Like, there's like a general outline for the script, but it's just him being a total nutso, you know? It's great. I mean, he does
I
so
love
well.
it.
He plays a really great creep.
Was the name of him confirmed? I know he always used fake names, right?
I
Or am
believe
I-
so, yeah.
Yeah. But it's great. I love it. It's also very underrated.
Like, I don't think you ever really know who he is. It's like different stories, different names. And I think you feel like you get a glimpse in the second one, but you're left with like, was any of that true? You know, yeah. I don't think we'll ever really know who the creep is, and maybe we'll see that in the tapes that all these
Yeah, hopefully.
names are different.
Maybe we get like a first victim point of view, and then we see how he was when he was like an amateur. Maybe it's still more personal. I'm very excited for it. It wasn't something I anticipated happening, but it did, and I'm grateful for it.
I always knew there was a third one coming, but they announced a third one like years ago, and then we just never heard. I think that was maybe just before COVID hit, and then there was nothing
Yeah, COVID.
like that. So yeah, I think it got benchmarked for a while, but that's good to hear that there's more news about that.
So let's go from one series being announced to the next one, because a Hostel TV series is also in the works. Eli Roth and producers Chris Briggs and Mike Fleiss will make their return for the Hostel series. I hope I don't butcher that name. Paul Giamatti, known from Planet of the Apes 2001, and many other great actors will take a role, with Paul being in a key role for the series. Not much is known yet. It is said to be a modern adaptation, an elevated thriller, plus a reinvention of the whole franchise. Roth and Briggs will be on the script, Briggs will be directing, Roth, Briggs, and Fleiss will all be executive producers. I think the term a reinvention of the franchise is very funny, considering the third movie already kind of broke all the rules. But we just forget about the third. There has only been the first and the second. Nothing happened in Vegas.
No, nothing. Didn't happen.
I'm so excited Roth is taking on more projects now. I think he really got the feel of like Thanksgiving and how great it did. I mean, he said after Thanksgiving he really wanted to go back to one of his babies, like Hostel or Cabin Fever. And now we get Hostel, which I'm pretty excited about.
I mean, I'm excited for Hostel, but man, a Cabin Fever would have been good.
Like a Cabin Fever series or like a prequel?
Maybe like just a prequel. I don't know how well a TV show about it would do.
I know that Patient Zero was a prequel, but no.
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 Yeah,
Like the only Cabin Fever I liked was the very first one. because the second one didn't really execute well for me. It was just gore. It wasn't more. And the third one, I mean, I'm not a big fan of. And the remake was good as well, but it's like a one-to-one remake, so you can't really...
The first one always stuck with me because that scene when one of them's ill, I can't remember who it is because it's been so long since I watched it, and she's in the bathtub and she's still shaving her leg.
I know you were going to talk about this.
It like comes off in chunks and she keeps shaving it. I'm like, girl, stop.
She keeps doing it. And
I
then,
know.
and then she goes out of the house and the dog.
Yeah, it's...
It's
I mean, I haven't
a little
even
bit.
watched it in about like
Yeah.
10 years, but I still remember it so vividly.
I know.
And then, I still remember that one. And I know that Patient Zero tried to redo that scene, kind of.
They did. It was unsuccessful.
It was because I just remember they were like diving, and they were going through corals, and she kind of cut herself on it, and that's how she kind of got the disease. I don't really remember it anymore, but it was similar to that one makeout scene in the first Hostel mixed with a shaving scene. Like when they make out in the very not Hostel, Cabin Fever, when they make out and he kind of goes down there and he puts his hand back and it's all bloody.
Oh, yeah, I remember that now.
And they kind of tried to recreate that and like him tearing apart the flesh. And I was like, yeah, it's still disgusting, but it's not shocking anymore since we already know that.
Yeah, you've seen it. Give us something else.
Yeah. But hey, let's see where Hostel, the TV series, goes. I'm really excited. Maybe it's a prequel series. Maybe it's a modern adaptation, like Where Are They Now kind of thing. Yeah. And you don't have to have it playing Slovakia, it was, I think.
You don't have to have the same people, you know?
Exactly, because it's like a whole group of people, network. It was like a mafia kind of thing. Hunting club. They call themselves the hunting club, yeah. Okay. Enough about torturing. I have... Yeah. Well, torturing, a bit of creep, a bit of that. We're so desensitized to that. Okay, but on a sad note, actor Eric Anderson has passed away, who we know for his role as Rob Deere on Friday the 13th, the final chapter. He died at the age of 67 after a long battle with cancer. Rest in peace to him. And of course, all the thoughts go to the family and friends, because everyone knows how hard it is to lose someone to cancer. I don't know how to really transition to another news, but I'm just gonna go from this very sad news to frustrating news, I think. Because Little Nightmares 3 will be delayed to 2025. Supermassive Games and Bandai Namco announced that the game will be a 2025 release for PC, Xbox One, Xbox Series, Nintendo Switch, PS4, and PS5 instead of the 2024 release. To quote the game studios, "As much as we can't wait for you to return to the nowhere, we also want to make sure we give the game the care and love it deserves. Quality is a top priority for us, and we know you feel the same way. For this reason, we've made the decision to shift the release of the game to 2025. We will still get some updates later this summer, but I'm just glad they delayed it if they couldn't have done it, because I know Supermassive Games is really busy with other projects as well, with Behavior. And I'm glad they take the time.
I never fault a company for saying sorry, but we're going to delay it. It's like, you do you, boo. Keep working on it. You know,
exactly.
If it's going to make the game experience better for us, then I'll wait. You know, I don't see the point of people like, oh, we have to wait another like 4 or 5 months. It's like, yeah, but if you have it now, you're going to get a buggy mess, and then just complain about that. And there's too many companies out there that are rushing out games and giving us half-assed pieces of work rather than treating it like their baby, you know?
I mean, to be fair, I think Supermassive Games has also learned from their mistakes because they have also been a studio that did these mistakes. I still remember the release of The Devil in Me from the Dark Pictures series. Great game, but it was a buggy mess for multiplayer when it came out. I remember when me and my brother played it, we had to restart the game at least 3 times because we kept having a bug where my brother couldn't do the quick time events or he couldn't decide anything at all in a scene where it was crucial to the survival of one of the characters. And
no, it's good that they're waiting and taking their time with it.
And anyone who hasn't played the first 2, either watch a Let's Play because it's like a straight up story, or play it for yourself. It really makes you feel uncomfortable. I'm just gonna say that. I've
never played either of them. They never really appealed to me. You know, I just
kind of has like a Limbo vibe, I think it's called. Like
I tried to play Limbo. I don't know if that's just not my kind of game to play, but I suppose if it has a good enough story, then I'd probably be happy to watch a Let's Play.
It's a really fun game to watch getting Let's Play. And I don't play Limbo for like that one particular scene. The spider.
Oh.
Yeah, there's a big shadow spider that's very creepy and big, so I just watched the Let's Play, so it was fine. Not in Little Nightmares, but Little Nightmares also get some creepy creatures. I'm just gonna keep it at that without spoiling too much, because I remember like watching trailers for the second game and I was like, damn, I spoiled myself with the creatures, because like that's one thing that the game is really unique about. You're getting excited what they brewed up.
So it's better just to dive into it blinded.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, but that was all I had. It was a bit much, but that's all. So, Jasper, what do you have?
I have just a few things. I noticed this and I was really interested. It's called The Run, which will be another choose-your-own-adventure interactive horror movie.
Ooh.
Any of you ever remember Black Mirror Bandersnatch? Do any of you
Yeah. The Black Mirror episode.
Yes. So very much the same as that. Deadline reports today that Roxanne McKee, who stars in Game of Thrones, and George Blagden Vikings will start in The Run, which is directed by Paul Rashid. 10 dates. I don't think I've watched that. The site details the interactive element will involve the viewer being asked to make high-stake decisions for the protagonist at various points throughout the story that will affect the direction of the narrative and in some cases result in early death.
Oh, damn.
So, we don't have a lot of news about this, but we do have a synopsis. The story is set in a remote running trail where a famous fitness influencer's morning run becomes a race for survival where she is hunted by seemingly motiveless killers. She meets local farmer Mateo along the way, and the viewer's choices determine whether they live or survive. I'm quite excited about that it's almost like it's a slasher, you know, with motiveless killers. And if you kind of read the synopsis and then go back to what I said before, like the wrong choice can result in an early death. Like, so I'm excited for that, and I like that. Reading that, it kind of reminded me of like Until Dawn and stuff, where, you know, like one wrong choice and you're going to ruin these characters' lives, you know?
Which also gets a remake.
Yes. Yes.
I had to drop this out as well. I'm very excited for that. Everyone is like shitting on it. I'm like, hell yeah, give me that remake. Then I have an excuse to play it again.
I know, right? Like, I've played it and I've watched just like no commentary playthroughs, you know. It's because it's like watching a movie.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
Every playthrough is kind of different, so I wonder if it's the same with this, The Run, where it's got like maybe 2-3 alternate endings, you know?
I
So
hope.
I don't know where it's releasing, but maybe somewhere like Shudder or Netflix.
Probably.
Sure.
I mean, most likely Netflix, because it got like this whole interactive thing implemented already. I don't know if Shudder does. Like, I don't have Shudder. I'm not a.
Either, I mean, as horror fans, we need Shudder.
Does Shudder have an interactive feature?
What do
Do you
mean?
know that?
What do you mean?
Where you can choose
like
the story.
No.
No, so probably Netflix. Which isn't bad, but Netflix is has gotten so expensive if you really want to watch it on good quality.
Next, I have Oddity. The writer and director Damien McAfee made his feature debut with the Irish horror movie Caveat in 2021. And McAfee is back with a brand new vision of unsettling nightmare fuel. Get ready for a creepy wooden mannequin to invade your nightmares when Oddity releases in theaters on July 19th this year. There is a trailer out already, I believe, and it's by IFC Films. I do like a good IFC film. I think they produce a lot of good horror movies. The synopsis is, when Danny is brutally murdered at the remote country house that she and her husband Ted are renovating, everyone suspects a patient from the local mental health institution where Ted is a doctor. However, soon after the killing, the suspect is found dead. So, a year later, Danny's blind twin sister Darcy, a self-proclaimed psychic and collector of cursed items, pays an unexpected visit to Ted and his new girlfriend Jana. Convinced that there was more to her sister's murder than people know, Darcy is brought with her the most dangerous item from her cursed collection to help exact revenge, which I'm assuming is just this really creepy wooden mannequin.
What?
This one really interested me because you don't see any. I don't think I've ever heard of. I mean, there's Maniacs with the creepy mannequins. Or is
You
it
mean like
Maniac?
mannequin movies?
Yeah, I think there was Maniac where the guy was kind of in love with the mannequins, but I can't really think of any other movie where there's mannequins that are the unsettling part.
I can just think of games. Just think of games so far.
Yeah,
like where they follow you or something like that as a horror aspect.
Yeah, but this is quite unique in that this mannequin's a cursed object that can obviously do something, and I can only guess, like, in a way, tell them who killed the sister? I'm not sure. Like, I don't want to speculate. I'm not going to Ken Feedy this one, but I am very excited. And the trailer's out now. And there's also a poster with the mannequin on it. Mm-hmm. It's terrifying. Like, in the poster, it kind of looks like this weird dried up tree.
Oh, I hate it. I hate it so much.
I love that reaction. I hate it and I'm done.
Like, I've seen another side of that, and why? Why is she like, yeah, let's take this to my dead sister's ex-boyfriend.
It's bizarre.
Not creepy at all.
I don't know. I think this could be a really, really good movie, guys. So it comes out in July. So, just over a month for this one. So
in a month, it's going to be a homework for us.
Oh, yeah. Y'all are watching that. You too, Gigi. Mm-hmm. You're like, God help, no.
Maybe Gigi's mom as well. Then they're like, if I have to, you have to as well.
I just have a little news here. In a Violent Nature finally came out, and I'm very happy with the results. I've been hearing great things about it. Like, lots of raving reviews. Stephen King even watched it.
I know Barbara
and said-
Crampton liked it.
Oh, really?
I love her post.
One of the slasher queens.
Mhm.
I think Stephen King said something like he said it was very good, then a bunch of fancy words, and then said it was it was really bloody, and then he said that the killer looks like a creepy serial killing minion or something, which is fair enough with the mask that they've designed for him. It is kind of minion-esque, but the only really news I have for that is, it's people are enjoying it, and it's already debuted with 2 million.
I've seen that as well.
So far. Yeah.
So great. I mean, I usually don't listen to Stephen King's recommendations because that man has questionable taste at times.
He does sometimes. Yeah.
Just reading his books, I mean, he hated The Shining, and The Shining is a great movie in itself. I mean, we all know what I think of the director, but
yeah,
the movie wasn't bad.
It's fantastic. It's like it's like history. This movie. Okay, moving on from Stephen King. I know you guys will be excited, but the cast for the Goosebumps season 2 has been announced. I'm so excited for this because I did love season 1 of Goosebumps, the new one. So so far we actually have David Schwimmer in it, which I'm very excited
from
about.
Friends.
Yes. We have Anna Ortiz, Sam McCarthy, Jaden Bartles, Elijah Cooper, Galea La Salvia, and Francesca Noel. I don't know a lot of them, but I do know David Schwimmer, and I wonder if he's going to be very much like the guy in the first movie, just this very goopy, derpy character. And we have a synopsis. The new story begins with Devin and Cece, fraternal twins adjusting to life with their recently divorced dad, Anthony. When the duo discovers a threat stirring, they quickly realize that dark stories are among them, triggering a chain of events that unravel a profound mystery. As they delve into the unknown, Devin, Cece, and their friends, Alex, CJ, and Frankie, must find themselves entangled. They find themselves entangled in a chilling tale. A chilling tale of 4 teenagers who mysteriously vanished in 1994. So we get a kind of little bit at the end of what it's kind of about, but yeah, I think this is going to be good. I'm sure it'll be just as good as season 1.
Well, hopefully.
Now, I'm very surprised by this because this is the first time I've heard about this, but Bill Skarsgård to return as Pennywise in Welcome to Derry. Max series Welcome to Derry will be bringing a familiar face back to terrorize the children. Bill Skarsgård is set to reprise his role as Pennywise in the prequel series. The upcoming series will premiere next year. The series will be a prequel to the 2 Stephen King-based It movies. Skarsgård is set to star in and executive produce.
What I want is the turtle. Give me the turtle.
Maybe then, like in this movie, or this TV show, we will get a snippet of the turtle. Who knows?
I mean, they hinted at it. It was like a little Easter egg in the movie, but maybe.
But this one's like a prequel that's going back to the 60s. Maybe.
Hopefully.
Maybe a bit more lore, we could see it. Hopefully.
But I will never be mad at more Skarsgård. Like, I really like him. He's so good. He's so good for modern horror, and I might have a slight celebrity crush on him, but that's out of the question. I think everyone has.
Yeah, everybody does.
on any Skarsgård.
Boy Kills World. Have you watched that yet, Lena?
No.
Oh, it's Bill Skarsgård, and it's topless Bill Skarsgård, so you're definitely going to enjoy it. But anyway, before we start talking about really attractive men, let's move on. I have video games. So we had this week Silent Hill Transmission, and oh boy, like Konami fed us. Like they fed us so much. So we finally got a trailer for Silent Hill 2 game. But not only that, we got a release date, we got Silent Hill 2 gameplay trailer, and then weirdly enough, I never knew this, there's a new Silent Hill movie coming out as well,
Yeah.
which just I wasn't expecting. Let's see, after letting the cat out of the bag earlier, regarding the release date of Silent Hill 2, Konami has followed up with the latest edition of Silent Hill Transmission. The event mainly focused on Silent Hill 2. The event kicked off with an extended 30-minute gameplay of Silent Hill 2, jumping around various moments in the game. We get scenes of James getting the iconic radio, the reveal of Laura and Maria, the nurses of Brookhaven, who, by the way, just looked so badass. With their little, like, their heads, the way their heads move, and it's like it's clicking, and that creeps me out. And they have pre-orders up now. If you get, I'm a bit annoyed about this, but I understand if you get the PS5 version, you get the dog mask you can wear. You can also get the Robbie the Rabbit mask or permanent.
Really?
Mask. Yeah. But that was quite cool. They're also releasing the deluxe edition, which is got probably the best bonus apart from the cosmetics is it's 48-hour early access to the game. Bloober, the team behind the game, said the biggest challenge that they had was actually how to make the game approachable for newcomers who have not played the original. And I know if anybody's played Bloober, their games don't have, like, you know, combat in it. So I know for fans that was a big worry if it was something they would be able to pull off. But seeing the gameplay, like the gameplay trailer, I think they pulled it off pretty well. You know, like you can kneecap the nurses and they drop down, and you can go up and just whack them on the head with a big pipe. It's like, this is perfect. You guys did an excellent job. Then we had a preview of Return to Silent Hill, which is the movie, and again, I didn't expect. With director Christoph Gans describing it as an act of passion to adapt. I consider the first 4 games as masterpieces, very modern, very transgressive piece of art. We get several shots from Silent Hill 2, followed by the same shots recreated by Gans in the film, such as James peering into the mirror from the beginning of the game. Did you guys watch the trailer for the Silent Hill movie, Return to Silent Hill?
No. I don't know, I'm so conflicted about it, because I usually don't like trailers, but at the same time, the last Silent Hill movie was a letdown, so I might watch it to know what I'm getting into. I still don't know, but I haven't watched it.
The thing is like, it is its own adaptation. Not its own adaptation. It is just going to be Silent Hill 2, but condensed in movie format. Whether that's good or not, I don't know.
I don't know.
It's not like we're getting all these different characters that aren't really related to Silent Hill. You know, we're getting people that we already know and love. I did have one issue. The guy depicted as James just doesn't look like James.
So the main character doesn't look like the main character.
The guy, he's like, maybe he's late 20s, longish brown hair, and I'm like, why has he got long hair? Why you not just crew cut that? Like, why you not cut it short like Jamesy's? So I don't know. They did release a trailer the day after, and you do get to see a lot of familiar characters in it. So I think you should watch the trailer. It doesn't really give away a lot, but if you've played
Okay.
the game, you know what happens anyway.
Yeah.
So it's a huge spoiler.
Yeah, the problem is the only thing that I might be interested in what they're doing.
Hmm.
What ending will they go for? Because Silent Hill 2 has like, I'm not talking about the troll ending because it's obviously not gonna be it. You know which one I mean, like the dog ending.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be the dog ending.
It's definitely gonna be that one.
That's the end of the movie.
But like, if it's gonna be, is it gonna be the bad ending? Is it gonna be the good ending? Like, I can believe that it's gonna be the best ending, the humanly best ending. I'd say, or they're gonna go with the devastating one.
Yeah, it'd be cool if they went for a bad ending.
It would be very cool because I think
UFO one would be good.
the bad ending, without spoiling what it is, but I think it's like one of the best solutions to his story. Even though it is devastating, it would. I always felt like it was the most logical thing for his story, even if it wasn't the best.
I feel like movies should go with bad endings more.
Yeah.
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 I'm between, like, I don't mind a sad ending as long as there's like a resolution to it either way. The only ending I hate is when it's like completely, like, it leaves too much open, like they didn't tie up anything. So for instance, this is a good example of a movie that did an open ending well, in my opinion. When Saw, like the way the first, which I feel, okay, if you don't know what I'm talking about with Saw, 10 years after it's been released, I'm sorry, spoilers, but you know, when he's there and he's like cutting off his foot and like the movie's ending, you don't know if he made it out or if he didn't.
Okay, I can understand that.
Yeah.
But I like these endings.
No, but that one's fine. Like, that's what I'm saying. That's like an example of a good one. There's like a resolution to the story because of how everything else was put together. It's like you really don't need to know that to feel satisfied with the movie. Whereas, let me think of a good example of a movie but I won't try and pick on a specific one, but when it's like the movie throws out, say, like 5 different plot points, and not only do they not resolve them, but they leave the whole ending open. It's like, did you guys not finish?
It's like it's for you guys, the viewers, to figure out. It's like, just finish your damn movie. Just finish it. Okay, please.
Yeah, I can. Oh, but I don't have a certain movie in mind as well right now, which is good.
I have one.
Yeah.
Comes to bad endings, and not bad as in like the way that that was trash. Bad as in, why did you do this to this character? Like, honestly, I've watched this movie once and I refuse to watch it again. Right? Eden Lake. Sorry, I can't.
But that wasn't really a for me. It wasn't a frustrating ending in the sense of finish your own fucking movie, but it was like, no, why?
That's what I kind of meant with like bad endings. Like, don't make everybody like walk into the sunset. Just kill them. Do something bad.
Yeah, punish them.
Yeah, punish us. Punish us a little bit. Give us an ending that we're not going to expect, that we're not going to see, because everybody knows that everybody's going to
masochist. Is what you're saying.
I think there's so much, like, the fact that I've only watched Eden Lake once and I will never watch it again because of that ending, because it tore my heart out, man. Like, and so I'll forever remember that. It was that impactful, and I think if movies follow that a bit more or try something different, they could. Yeah, maybe their movie isn't good after all, but the ending could just totally turn it around for them.
Yeah.
If they pulled a quote unquote Eden Lake move on us,
Yeah. I think. Oh, I know one of the movies. I remembered one. Old. I'm just gonna say old.
Fuck, man, that movie was so bad.
I mean, it didn't make any sense once they left the beach. it didn't make any sense, especially because that ending wasn't even in the fucking book.
It's just it's so bad.
Like,
hate
explain
that
to us why they did that. Like, at least explain. They were like, yeah, they were just experimenting. And
what ending I thought was like the best ending ever is The Cabin in the Woods. I thought that movie had such a great ending.
That was a fantastic movie.
Right?
I thought that was excellent.
It's one of my favorite horror movies, like modern horror movies. And I still remember I showed it, like, if a friend that likes horror hasn't watched it yet, I'm like, you're gonna instantly watch it with me. And I still remember finishing that movie, and spoilers for anyone who hasn't seen it, but he sat there and he was like, that ending was shit. So I was like, so you're, and then I told him, so you're one of the people they are criticizing with that movie. And I'm like, well, why? Because you're an audience member that tears down like the whole movie, this whole universe, because you didn't like that these two people survived that. And it really made him thinking. It really got him thinking. He really liked the metaphor in the end. Because it has such a great metaphor about movies being torn to shreds once it doesn't feed the stereotypes, once it doesn't do what any other horror movie does. And I love that. I mean, nowadays it's kind of the opposite. But I love the story that Cabin in the Woods was going for.
Well, I have one more piece of news.
Okay.
And that's Dead by Daylight, Dungeons and Dragons. We kind of spoke about this before a few episodes ago because it came out on beta and a lot of people were testing it and there's a lot of articles about it, but it's been released. So Vecna is now in the game. The DLC introduces a new killer, Vecna the Like, a new survivor, and the bard Astray Yazar. My god, names.
A bard. I love bards.
And the set in the new map, the Crumbling Forgotten Ruins. I actually saw a TikTok earlier today, and I haven't been on Dead by Daylight in a very long time, but I know Lena and I are going to play this weekend. The Bard perk. So if you use the Bard perk, you just start playing guitar. And there was this guy who was injured and he was like running around the wagon from one of the killers, and he throws the pallet down and then starts playing the Bard, and the killer just stares at him and then walks off. I'm like, that's a great new tech. Like,
I need that. You control so good with it.
Really. So a little bit about them. Vecna brings with him his Book of Vile Darkness, which contains 4 dark spells to terrorize and decimate survivors. Flight of the Damned conjures 5 flying spectral entities in a cone-shaped form, passing through obstacles and damaging any survivors it hits. Fly elevates Vecna from the ground, making them move quickly in a forced forward motion. Which, by the way, he can just fly through windows. Like, if you vault the window, this guy can just fly through it. It's brutal.
I saw
a well-known Dungeons Dragons spell, Mage Hand, creates a ghastly, phantasmic hand that can tag nearby pallets. If the pallet is lowered, the hand will raise it, which is, I think, really cool. Dispelling Sphere conjures a moving AoE sphere that is undetectable to survivors. Should they come in contact with it, their location is revealed and their magical item becomes disabled. So no bard playing for you. Meanwhile, Astray has a few tricks of her own. Mirrored Illusion spawns a static copy of the survivor in front of a totem chest generator, which I think is kind of cool. Like, I think they've done really well with these perks. Bardic Inspiration empowers allies through a stern performance, while standing still will begin a performance that gives nearby party members a temporary buff to skill checks once completed. when not in motion for a set amount of time, still sight automatically activates, revealing the aura of the killer, as well as all nearby generators and chests. In addition to Astri the elf, players can choose to play as a male, the human bard named, oh god, Bearmere Uraz. We're just going to call him Bear.
Yeah, bless you.
Yeah, Bear. It's fine. Honestly, I know this is like, it's not really out of context, but I've been learning how to speak German. Yeah, I think I'm just going to text German because I can't pronounce anything you guys say.
I can understand that. Yeah, fair.
Very, very difficult. So, and then we have several outfits, accessory options, of course. The Forgotten Ruins map is part of the decimated Borgo realm, which is really cool. It's here that Vecna has chosen to make his domain. Beneath the ruins of a ravaged tower lies an underground lair of terrible experiments, arcane lore, horrifying secrets, and even more surprises for long-time D&D fans. So, yeah, there's a lot out for this chapter, and it's out to play now. So I think
Love
we're
it.
going to encounter ourselves lots of Vecnas this weekend.
Yeah, I just love how like my boyfriend said, "Oh no, I'm so scared because I'm kind of new in DBD and you're already kind of good." I'm like, trust me, if there's one thing that happens in DBD is even the most skilled players will fuck up and fuck up royally. DBD is such a chaos game. Don't worry, I have 300 plus hours in it. And I still can't loop the killer for shit. I still fall down. I'm down in like 10 seconds.
2,000 hours. I can kind of loop the killer, but I make the dumbest mistakes on it.
Yeah.
The dumbest mistakes. And they also introduced Chaos Shuffle. The Chaos Shuffle's been out for a while, but it had so many people playing it and so many rounds played. I think they got the stats and there was something like 2 million rounds of it played.
Damn.
So
What, is Chaos Shuffle just a random perks, random survivor, random killer?
No. Just random perks.
Oh, okay.
So you do not get to know what your perks are till you load into the game.
But only the ones you own, I think.
I'm not sure because I don't know. I'm not sure about that. I'm gonna have to look into that.
Okay, but let's get away from DVD because I think we can talk hours about it.
I know. Okay, that's all I have for news. What about you?
What I have are some new drops to Shudder, and one of them I think you'll be especially excited about, Jasper, about eczema. Well, I mean, you don't have Shudder, so never mind. But eczema is coming to Shudder June 14th.
That's just more reason to get it. There's absolutely more reason to get it. I love that. I've watched that movie 5 times now, by the way.
Oh, I can't wait. I'm going to watch it as soon as it drops.
I can't. I need somebody else on the server to watch it, please.
I will, for sure. I mean, it's so up my alley because I love South Korean horror movies. The stuff that they have come out with, specifically thinking of like Train to Busan, Alive, those are incredible. And
do you want to know one interesting fact about Exuma, which won't spoil anything?
Yeah.
So the main shaman and her, I think progeny, I guess, in the story. Well, the actors actually learned how to perform because there's two shaman rituals performed, right, in the movie. Again, it doesn't really spoil anything, but they actually learned. These are actually real rituals that they performed, and they had to have an on-set shaman to make sure that A, it was done correctly, and B, that they were safe in doing so. But when the actress performed the ritual, kind of like, okay, cut, we're done. And they never told the actress this until like an interview. The director and her were doing an interview on a Korean show. And he said, once we were done, we had to send like half the crew home because they started feeling sick. So then they had to get the shaman to perform like blessings on them all.
Oh, damn.
And then they were feeling fine the next day. I was like, damn, that's so cool. I love that.
It is.
Absolutely love that. I kind of like so not to get too off topic with you, but do you any of you remember the I think it's a Thailand movie, The Medium?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that was another movie that was kind of based around shamanism.
That's interesting.
And I just find the whole concept interesting itself.
Well, I really love folk horror in general.
Yeah.
So I think I'll be into this one that I would like to talk about. That's coming to Shudder is Herd. I'm super pumped about this one. It'll drop on the 15th of June. So zombie stuff is just like a hyperfixation of mine and has been for a very long time. So the reviews on Herd are not great, but I'm still really interested in it. And I've seen some of the stills. The zombies have like pustules on them instead of just the normal rot. And I guess it's because it's a viral zombie outbreak. And they're calling him the Heps, which I guess is like hepatitis, the sort of thing. So yeah, they've got these big pulsating pussy boils that are just like bursting all over them. It's super gross looking. I'm here for that. I have a thing for the gross. It always makes me laugh.
Okay.
But it's so the story is Jamie and her wife Alex are on a canoe trip in a rural area, and after a boating accident, they find themselves in the middle of a small town in a zombie outbreak, having to maneuver between two warring militia factions. Could be good.
Okay.
I'm here. I'm ready. Gonna watch it.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
No doubt it's going to be a future movie night on the Widder, right?
Heck yeah.
I'm sure you. Yes.
Yes, of course. Yeah, I'm. And this week we also have a content creator spotlight and member of our Discord, Brumble, who is a game developer, and we have a recorded interview that I'm going to insert now. So please enjoy.
Hello, my name's Brumble. I'm a 37-year-old indie game dev from the UK. I've been interested in game development for many years. I've dabbled here and there with a few failures and a few wins. Grim Entertainment's a brand I created once I realised I had a passion for horror and for making my own games. I felt that there's not enough horror games out there that leave players on the edges of their seat. Having been through various brand names, I finally decided on Grim Entertainment. Of course, Arcanum's a 1 to 4 person co-op horror game about a town called Everdusk. A rift has opened, releasing nightmarish monsters throughout the town, and survivors have formed a group called the Seekers. This group is tasked with searching each map for the artefacts in hopes to close the rift. You can expect puzzles, side missions, item gathering, and of course running from your life from the horrific entities such as the Spider Cat and other monstrous creeps. So the idea behind the rework of Arcanum is that I want the community to decide what happens, meaning if, let's say, I add a new monster, will it be aggressive, passive, will it help the players, or will it kill them? The same goes for map design and mechanics. I add polls and votes in my Discord server and allow the community to decide how they would like the map to feel and the purpose of each piece. My job is just to do the work behind the scenes and develop the game, but the core aspects are all decided by the community. I feel that giving the community a direct connection to the game, allowing players to have that sense of ownership over their decisions, will create a stronger sense of community and allow players to have their own freedoms with their choices inside the game. My aim is to create a tight-knit community of horror-loving gamers who love to have their own say when it comes to development events, and I always take on board feedback. My strongest belief is that if you listen to the community, they'll support you and they'll guide you to be the best you can be, whilst at the same time enjoying the games and content that you create that they've had a hand in creating. I created Arcanum last year with another developer. We were super hyped for its release. However, we quickly learned, as being new to Steam development, that rushing the game was not ideal. The game had a mediocre start and quickly fell off the map. So I decided this year to completely rebuild the game from the ground up on my own as a solo dev and completely refresh, rework and make Arcanum basically a brand new game and get it back on the map. I was updating the game regularly. However, I decided that the current state of the game just wasn't going to work, knowing that it could be better, so I'm working on the full rework. There's going to be lots of new content being added, for example puzzles, mazes, epic chase scenes, cosmetics for the players, way more monsters, new hiding spaces. Even some of the monsters will be able to copy your friends' voices, so you'll hear the monsters and not your friends, and of course there's going to be a lot more teamwork involved content. Absolutely, I'm working on 5 of the games which will come after Arcanum, which will include hyper-realistic games and of course some horror comedy games too. Who doesn't love horror comedy? One of the games I'll be working on is about mental health and specifically schizophrenia and how it affects a player's decision making, how it affects a player's view on reality. Is that an evil monster you're fighting, or is that your elderly neighbour waiting at the bus stop? It's going to be pretty intense at times and I can't wait to get it started and showcase this. Lastly, I'd just like to thank all the content creators out there who, without their amazing work, none of this would be possible, such as Liartis Studios, Machine Gun Studios, Hive Mind, and of course this podcast and the amazing server wouldn't be available without the team at Cold Dead Heart, so thank you very much for creating such a wonderful space for all the horror lovers out there.
Okay, I'm going to talk as a gamer and huge horror fan right now, and that sounds like such a fun game, and I can't wait to get my hands on it so I can play it. Thank you.
I'm so excited for that game, though. It looks really interesting.
So it's time for a round table, but we're introducing just like a new element to it, where every week one of us picks a movie for everybody else to watch, and then we discuss how that movie made us feel and if we enjoyed it or not. So the homework for this week was Stopmotion. Stopmotion came out last year, and the synopsis is a stop-motion animator struggles to control her demons after the loss of her overbearing mother. So I'm going to throw this over to Lena. What was your thoughts on this movie?
First of all, I'm just going to throw out a spoiler warning for now, because I think either I will spoil or someone else. I loved that movie. I loved it. I mean, I think we all had the same impression of it by the end of it. When I started watching it, everyone was like, oh, you're going to feel very uncomfortable afterwards. I felt very uncomfortable afterwards. I needed a mental shower. I felt so dirty and I can't even explain why.
It's not even a mental shower. I went for a shower after I watched that movie.
Yeah.
I actually went for a shower because it's just so uncomfortable. I felt really uncomfortable.
So, okay, I have some questions from watching the movie over and over again. It's like she is dehumanizing herself to make herself into a puppet, right? A doll. Mm-hmm. And the movie even begins with her mother calling her like her puppet.
Yeah.
Right. But other times, like the shower scene where she's rubbing her leg and it turns into wax, but then it goes back. Okay. Mm-hmm. And then another time when she's running through the woods turns like it has a red glow, just like the red glow when she's clipping stuff together, making her stop motion. Okay. And then it turns out that she was hallucinating all crazy like, but she hadn't taken the LSD. It was still in her pocket.
No, she didn't, yeah.
Yeah. So, like, was she having a mental breakdown? Was she?
Yeah.
Okay. Or is she Fae or, like, getting tricked by the Fae? Or is she putting so much of herself into her artwork that she's, like, sacrificing herself?
There was one interesting thing that the mother said, right? Mm-hmm. And it was something along the lines of, you have a very morbid and a vivid imagination like me, but I'm better at repressing it. And I think the reason her mother was so overbearing is because she knew she had the same morbid and wild imagination, but hadn't learned how to control it. And when her mother, went into hospital, it's like all this repression just unraveled, and you did see that slow decline of her just essentially losing her mind because she couldn't. She was never taught how to control this side of her. That's the way I've seen it. Anyway.
So here's my
That's
G theory. Oh, sorry.
No, that's fine.
So here's my a G theory instead of a Ken theory.
Oh, G theory. Okay, let's hear it.
So I'm gonna say that she was turning into a creature, into a doll, and that little girl that comes to her and encourages her to like play with the dead fox and play with some dead meat and is giving her this story, but only when she follows her directions, was Faye. And that those were the terms of the trade.
Oh, Faye.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but like Faye evil happening there?
Faye evil happening there. She was luring her in because, all right, so she went to that different apartment. She's already in like kind of a bad state, but she's also highly creative and talented, which is something that the Fae like, right? And she's also very beautiful. And so then you have this like girl show up, and she shows up in such an odd way of like, hey, stop what you're doing. Like, come talk to me. It's not like a normal way. And you could say that that's because she's manifesting like her inner child, but she could totally just be Fae. And it's a Fae trap.
I mean, the way I saw it, it's a very interesting theory. The way I saw it was like in the very beginning, like the very first scene we saw was her dancing in like a club. I think it was a club, but we could see her dancing, and we could see like the camera flickering, and it changed from like her smiling to her kind of deviously smiling. Like you could see like the sanity escaping her sometimes, like two different sides of her coming out.
Was she coming under the influence?
We don't know that, but like in the beginning it was that, and so the more I watched it, kind of like how Jasper said, the mother said she had morbid creativity, and maybe she really had a problem. Like maybe she really had a mental or like an aggressive problem that she never really got treated for. And like the girl said, or like everyone in that movie says, is she was used to being told what to do. So even when being on her own, she creates someone in her mind, because we all know that the girl doesn't exist. Or maybe she doesn't exist if it's a fae, So she creates someone in her mind that still follows her around and commands her, because that's all she knows. And what I think is that it's like her two personalities. Like while we're still with her, she's still trying to take like this peaceful, controlling side. She's still trying to be herself. But once it all becomes trippy and all that much, it's like when the side of the girl, like that inner sadistic girl she is, comes out. And I think she fully loses it once she chokes out her bad self. Because once she kills the kid,
which is another reason she might be Fae. Just throwing that out there. Okay, go on.
Once she chokes her to death, and she's like, you finally got that out of your system, you can see her fully embracing that. You can see her just giving up resisting, fully embracing it, fully giving the control over to the insanity. Like, that's how I felt, that it was just a fight for these two personalities that lived inside her, and in the end the evil inside of her couldn't have been stopped.
So would it be like a more good versus evil story on split personality disorder?
Yeah,
what you're saying? Okay.
It seems like this, or like this What also a lot of people think, what kind of sounds possible, it's just the insanity artists go through in that department, because stop motion is very hard to do. It's very tedious work, and you go insane doing it, and you always chase the next thrill. You always want to be better than the other. You always want to shock more in the stop motion sense, and that deprived her to insanity, because to be something special you have to be insane. But I still think either the Fae one is pretty damn good.
I kind of like all three theories, like
The
personality, insanity, coming out of depression, and I'd really like the Fae one. I think that's a really interesting route down. Yeah, it's deserved to be that's not a Ken theory, that's a Gigi theory. I like that.
Definitely.
Can I just say as well, like, the stop motion itself, wow, just
so disgusting. Sorry.
the thing is like, okay, so we start off with the wool stop motion, just like kind of like our mother's designs, and he's like, why don't you use mortician wax? And then it kind of tumbles from there, like mortician wax to using dead meat, to using dead animals, using flesh, blood. And for me, that wasn't so much the part that was gross. Granted, the characters she created were disgusting looking, but it was the sounds they made.
Oh, yeah, very squishy.
Very squishy, and I think that, like, although they weren't loud and in your face, it kind of almost left a consistent imprint in the back of your mind, as in, like, even if you went on to another scene where they weren't in there, it's almost like still an echo in the back of your mind. For me, anyway, it's just like the entire movie, it's all I could hear, and it was constant shudder, and I think that played a huge part in why I felt really uncomfortable. Was the actual sound production from the movie itself was just very disgusting. Very disgusting.
Oh, I forgot another theory.
Oh, okay. What's that?
No, you can first point it out, because then I can point out some of the other details that we missed.
Well, no. Go ahead with your theory, because this is more like something I thought was interesting about the movie.
Because what I also found interesting is like the story she makes, about the girl and the what was he called, the Ashman.
Yes.
So in the first night he saw her, in the second night he touched her. What if it's like a repressed story from her childhood? We don't know anything about her childhood. What if she had childhood trauma? Because let's be fair, he saw her and he touched her. When I heard it,
that could be a big play.
It creeped me out. It really creeped me out.
There was no mention of a father in the picture, was there?
Yeah, no, not at all. And she gets so creeped out by the Ashman. Like, she doesn't like this creature she created at all. She's scared of her own
But what
creature.
about if Ashman is just that side of her that her mother was trying to contain?
Maybe that as well, yeah.
Yeah. Jasper Feedy, let's go.
But I also really like the theory of what if she was just abused in the past. And it was like all this pent-up rage from all these years of abuse.
I mean, it could be. It's, you know how we were talking about bad movies earlier that kind of leave too much open. I feel like this movie left a lot open, but not in a bad way.
Right, yeah. Like, it did a good job of it in it. So, one of the things I really liked is that it made me think about how, as an artist, when you're creating something, like, you're giving it life. And it takes a lot out of you sometimes to make a creative piece. And this is like the representation of all of the darkness of giving your life to your artwork. in the realist way, because like not only did she give her literal body to her artwork, but then she sacrificed herself to it. Essentially, she let the Ashman eat her face. So
yeah. Ugh.
Just
What a gross scene.
I think that was kind of cool.
Okay. I'm not a fan of stop motion. I did say in the Cold Dead Heart server, like, I never liked Wallace and Gromit and whatnot. It's just never my I don't like the style, and I think that's why it took me so long to actually watch this. But I'm really glad that I was like, Ken was like, no, you guys need to watch this. This is actually really good, It was a fantastic movie. It's definitely one of those ones I feel like would creep into my mind a lot. It's not easily forgettable. Not a lot not a lot of movies make me want to shower right after.
Yeah. I think it's like one of those movies you think about every once in a while and you're like, oh god.
Yeah, exactly.
That happened.
Exactly like that. Yeah, I mean, if you guys had to rate it out of a 10, what would you scale it at?
I'd give it a solid 8.
Solid 8, nice. Lena?
I'm thinking of between 8 and 9 as well. I don't know why.
I'll just go 8.5.
It was very trippy. It was so good. But let me just point one thing out. We didn't point out at all. Like this, when shit went down. When she killed her boyfriend, she killed. I don't know if you guys have realized that, but like in one of the beginning scenes when she like wakes up next to her boyfriend, he's still sleeping kind of, or like he's still at least dozing off. She pinches his nose.
Does she?
Yeah, she does to make him wake up, and then he's like, why did you do that? And they're laughing about it because it's like a little insider they have, and in the end, it's how she kills him. And when
you remember that scene where she ends up working at the sister studio and then ends up having that fight? They have that fight,
and she throws the tripod after her.
Yes! Oh my god! I never realized
that. Yeah, they actually showed their death. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Good.
But like the tripod kill is so goddamn brutal.
She's just holding it on top of your chest and you can see that struggle pushing it and you're like, oh my god.
And then you can see it like getting deeper and deeper and then she really digs in there and like, oh god. But despite these two kills, the worst scene still was her opening her wound and poking into it. It was because it's just something about this relatable pain is worse about pain you never felt yourself.
Yeah, I'm quite curious if Ken noticed that as well with the first scene deaths. We're gonna have to ask him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This movie was so smartly done. I love it so much. It will haunt me.
It will. I don't have much else to say about the movie. Anybody else have any last
Me
thoughts?
neither.
Well, next week we were supposed to do a deep dive on this for our quote-unquote book club, which was The Omen, the prequel, but I think we're going to do that next week when Ken can join us, because I know Ken has 101 million thoughts, so we're saving that. And we hope you enjoyed this new little segment. But
we certainly do.
What else have you guys been watching? Like, I know you've all have been watching a ton more this week.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. What else is on your list, Lena? Don't you have like 9 movies?
I mean 8 now because we talked about Stopmotion. Because I have been keeping up with a lot of movies you guys thrown my way, because like every day there's at least one movie being thrown out, like, this is really good, watch it, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna watch it. So of course I also watched the first Omen, but my thoughts about that will be next week. Then I think one I have watched where I was already warned about was The Blackening. didn't mind it. Okay, what I mean is, I hated the humor most of the time. Because I was like, first I was watching, I saw like the posters, and I was like, damn, this will be something really fun to get into, because how are they gonna execute this? And then I went into the movie and it was like, all this humor, and like this humor about all these white people, and like this, the black guy always dies first, and this and that. It's okay, it's funny in the first 10 minutes, but when they keep repeating this joke, it's just getting frustrating. I don't know, and every person is like a cliche in itself. It wasn't really a lot of fun, but I am gonna be honest, there were 2 or 3 scenes that really cracked me up. Next thing was Influencer. It's more thriller. I'd say Influencer is more thriller.
I enjoyed Influencer. Thought it was an alright movie.
Yeah, it was an alright movie. It's about this. How do I explain this? It's about this girl that likes to take the life of influencers, basically kidnapping them to a deserted island and then taking their life. And suddenly a person enters that searches for one of them, and it messes her up really good. But like I like how she was still smarter than him. I like how she was still smarter than 90% of the characters, but not the smartest, as we know.
Yeah.
I love this
Not
movie.
the smartest.
It was fun to watch. I like these little mystery movies.
Yeah, when I saw it and it was like Influencer, I'm like, oh god, this is going to be so bad. But I really enjoyed it. I thought it was... It's one of those ones where I'd be quite happy to put on like background noise on a Saturday and just kind of watch it on and off, you know?
Yeah.
Wouldn't mind watching it again. It was,
Exactly that. It wasn't too gory, but it was still fun. Plus, the main actress, so beautiful. She is so fucking pretty. Her eyes, her hair. Damn. Just had to get that out of there. What a beautiful woman. Yeah, probably, because she was... And then I watched Clown, the Eli Roth movie Clown.
Yes.
Another one that made me kind of want to shower afterwards, but in it was disgusting kind of way. Even though I hated 90% of the characters. Mainly because most of them did stupid decisions. Like one after the other. Like, the guy has like this, I'm just gonna call it a parasite demon, because that's what he is. Instead of him that likes to eat children, and he's like, yeah, let's go with my pregnant wife and we'll go to the house where we live with our son.
Yeah,
that wasn't
bad idea.
Smart at all. That wasn't smart at all. Or like the wife that just has basically tells everyone, stay away from him, don't get near him, if he's somewhere near, instantly call me. Also tells her dad, whatever you do, don't go to our house. What does the dad do? Goes to their house. Why? Why? I had a lot of thoughts about the movie. I posted it in the horror channel because me and kids, especially kids that don't deserve it. That was just one scene with a girl that was like, yeah, I'm lost and I know you're from the dentist. Can you take me to home to my mom? I was like, oh God, no. Oh God. And my heart broke. It really pulled on my heartstrings, but Clown was a brilliant movie.
It's like, I said in the server, like, it's one of those free clown movies I'd happily watch again. You know, there's It, Killer Clowns from Outer Space, and Clown.
Oh yeah.
It's absolutely fantastic.
Definitely. Stitches is also great. Mm-hmm. It's so funny.
Yeah, it is. In such a sad way.
Yeah. Another one I watched was The Midnight Meat Train. Mm-hmm. And seeing Bradley Cooper in a horror movie like that. Damn, that movie, I didn't know what I was missing out on. That movie was so good.
My only gripe with that movie is I'm so sad I missed it in 3D.
Yeah, I bet it looked great in 3D.
Yeah.
Like,
It would have
the
looked
ending,
badass.
and, the ending and the reveal, what it's all about, and
Yeah.
it's so good. It's so good, and the gore is so perfect as well.
I didn't realize you hadn't seen it because it is like such a Lena movie.
It is. I also haven't seen the house that Jack built, but I'm definitely going to be on that one as well because I know it's another disturbing movie.
That one deserves a book club moment on Cold Dead Heart podcast because you could talk hours about that movie. It's fucking phenomenal.
I watch it someday. The next movie was Slaw, A Taste of Death.
Okay, please tell me your thoughts on that.
Which is a Saw parody about cold slaw. Okay, let me just say this. It's a very low budget movie. So don't get in there.
You're missing one fact. Who is it by?
Who's it by?
Tubi.
It's not a Tubi movie. I don't think it's a Tubi original. No, it's not. But it is on Tubi.
Original.
No, it isn't. But it's so funny because there are wrestlers in it. Like professional wrestlers, and I always love seeing wrestlers in horror movies because I just know this movie is going to be over the top. Because I'm just thinking about See No Evil was also like a wrestler movie. I think it was a WWE movie. But Slaw is like a whole other thing. Like it's low budget and it doesn't have the best of dialogues. It doesn't have the best of sound management. It doesn't have the best of gore. Does it matter? No. It's because it's so random. This movie is so damn random. It's basically about these two brothers. One is like a giant, and the other one has dwarfism. And they are okay. Let me get this straight. They describe themselves as very rich, but psychotic serial killers.
Okay.
That don't like it when people are rude, and they really like food, and so they basically chained up all these people that were rude to them while they visited restaurants and stuck them in these traps. Because one of the first people was like a server that didn't want to give them extra chili for the burger because we were like, the line is so long and you just want extra chili, and they're like, yeah, we just want extra chili. Yeah, well, fuck you. And then he gets thrown into this trap which is kind of like the glass box from Saw 5. Not the glass coffin, what is it called? The water cube with Stromas in. But instead of water, it fills up with cold slaw. And to save himself, he has to eat it, to not drown in it.
Wow.
It's so stupid.
One person eat?
I don't know, but it's like
eat that shit by the gallon. I'd survive that trap.
It's so funny. That movie is so funny, but it also is very random. Like the ending, you will be so confused by the ending. People disappear.
Is it Dude Bro Party Massacre Free Good?
No.
Damn. Okay. So it's worse.
It's worse.
I mean, Dude Bro Party Massacre Free is like amazing, but
it's amazing. It's worse. I would like kind of put it a bit at Thanksgiving level, but even a bit worse than this as well. Not that it was a bad movie. It was just it didn't make any sense. But that's what was the good thing about it as well.
Thank you for taking one for the team. I mean, I kind of want to watch it, but I don't at the same time.
Watch it when you want to have background noise. is
Right,
what I'm
okay.
gonna say.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes it doesn't make so much sense that you're like, huh? Then you can get worked up on that.
Okay.
Okay. Because there's also like the running gag of like the little one of the brothers being gay, and she's like, I'm not gay, because like this whole family is like this kind of hillbilly like family, but they're super rich. They have to mention a ton of times that they're super rich. Mm-hmm. And I loved it. I loved it for what it was. And the last two movies I've watched, I kind of kept for last because it was something that was recommended. It's...
Oh, wait, can we speak about that one together?
Yeah, then I'm gonna say The Bone Woman first.
Okay.
It was... I think we all... no, me and Jasper watched it. But we already told Gigi maybe not to watch it.
I haven't. Yeah. But
it's okay. It was just okay.
It was okay. We agree with Ken on like last week's episode. It was a good movie, like in production value and everything it had going for it. It was just a very artsy movie, slow-paced movie that didn't execute well for me, at least.
The thing is, it's like every time you felt like something big would happen, something scary would happen, and you'd be like, okay, now it's picking up. Like, this is it. We're going to be in for like the last 30 minutes or 40 minutes of just crazy assness, and just it kept dropping off. Like, something big would happen, 20 minutes dialogue. Something big would happen, 30 minutes dialogue. And you're like, man, I'm bored.
Yep, exactly. I think that's the best thing to describe the movie, because I always say I like the message. And I think we all like the message. Yeah. It just could have been made with more... I wanted to be more tense while watching it. I wanted to have some sort of bad feeling while watching it. But
kind of like the coffee table, you know, tense. You just want a bit of that tensity.
Because a coffee table, it's like only one thing happening, like one very bad thing, and then it's mainly just talking and walking around, but it's so perfectly executed.
Yeah, it's talking and walking around the entire movie, but you're sweating just as much as the main character in that movie. You know, the intensity is there, whereas it was not there in The Bone Woman. It just wasn't. And I agree with you. I like the message behind it. You know, it's not giving spoilers, but the message is like just somebody struggling to live by, you know, societal standards. That was kind of the message behind it. But yeah,
like getting married, be pregnant, do this, do that, and yeah. But that was an okay movie. I wouldn't recommend it to anyone that's like, hey, I heard about it, should I watch it? I'm gonna be like, maybe you're better off not watching it, because the way I saw it was still with subtitles, and I don't particularly enjoy movies with subtitles because I have to concentrate on it, and I'm a person that gets very easily distracted. But I concentrated on it, and so in the end I felt like I wasted my time a bit. It sounds so harsh, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I think Ken was just happy that we were on the same boat as him, really. Because I know this movie did get a lot of praise, and there's a lot of horror fans that did really enjoy it. And he's like, what am I not understanding? Why am I not enjoying this? So
yeah, but he understood everything, because I watched a lot of explaining videos. And then I wrote him like a whole paragraph, and he was like, yeah, I got that from the movie, I just didn't get... And I was like, oh. Yeah, but I think that's all I have to say about Bone Women. I don't think there's a lot to say about the movie. For me, at least.
Well, what about you, G? What have you watched this week?
So this week, which as we release it, it will have just happened, but the weekend of the 7th, 8th, and 9th of June is the Living Dead weekend at Monroeville Mall, and the theme of it is creepier this year. And in since the theme of it was that, I went ahead and rewatched Creepshow and Creepshow 2, Night of the Creeps, Dawn of the Dead, and it is so fun rewatching those movies because it's just I don't know, it reminds me of my childhood. Is that a terrible thing to say? But I was so into them when I was younger, and it just reminded me of that a little bit. So it was that nostalgia feel, and there's some amazing people that are coming to this, including some creative legends like Tom Savini, Greg Nicotero, Howard Berger, like really amazing special effects artists that I cannot wait to just be in the presence of. And
Before you delve into that, who are you going to be meeting there?
oh, okay, so there's a lot of incredible people. I don't know if I'll actually like get to meet them per se, but they'll be in attendance. It's Mike Gornick, Greg Nicotero, Tom Savini, John Amplas, Daniel Beer, Fred Decker, Howard Berger, Tom Atkins, Jason Lively, and Jill Whitlow.
It's still so cool.
One more person.
Oh my god! And the biggest news about the weekend is that C from Wither and Blackened are going to be in attendance with a booth selling their novels and the TTRPG. And I'm so excited to finally get to meet them in person and just support their projects and what they're working on. But that's what I have been into this week.
Only the Creepshow movies?
Oh, well, I mean, I also watched the first Omen, but we're going to talk about that next week with Ken.
Yeah. Yes. Sorry, listeners, we can't talk about this without Ken. He would be devastated.
Yeah, we just want him to have fun with it as well. We already took Stopmotion from him.
So I mean, yeah, and of course, and I watched Stopmotion. Let's see, what else did I do? Well, this isn't horror, but it's gross. I started watching My Feet Are Killing Me yesterday.
Oh, it is horror for some.
It is. So it's podiatrists and people coming in with horrendous foot problems.
Oh.
So
no.
Yeah, the episode, and they do like coverage of the surgeries and everything, which is really exciting. So, like, one lady came in with a massive wound on her foot that never healed correctly from various surgeries. She'd had multiple, like 6 or 7 already. And so it was just like these festering cracks that she's taken so many antibiotics to stave off infection for that she's actually becoming like immune to the antibiotics and allergic to them. And they were forming these, like, I don't know what they were called, but huge calcified infection bubbles on the bottom of her feet. And so, yeah, the surgeon went through and actually shaved that part of her foot skin off. It was on the bottom, like where your arch is. Shaved it off. And it was several millimeters thick in places. So it took almost like a piece of solid leather off the bottom of her foot and just exposed all like the fat and the tendons underneath. And then she went and showed.
Please stop. I think Jasper is gonna puke.
It's fine. Okay. What did you find?
So then they sent that slab away for testing, and then she injected these stem cell things into the areas that she hadn't cut. So, like, from the cut side in, she was sticking the needle and then laying down these very thin skin grafts over the open wound and then closed it up.
Please stop. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Can you watch that?
on a Saturday.
So, funny enough, I'll tell you all this though. So, my husband puts up with my horror movies, and he very rarely, if ever, we do have like veto power over what one another's watching. Like, if it's really awful to us or something. Not that we ever used it. It's almost been like a joke. But
he used it now.
Yeah, I put it on. He was like, veto. No,
You better have
turn
used
that off.
I can actually feel myself ready to retch. After listening to that, remembering what I'm like, what?
Yeah, I feel quite sick.
I kind of like watching those pimple popping videos.
I love those.
I
Yes.
love those.
Who's that American doctor that does the cyst?
Mm-hmm. The Dr. Pimple
like-
Popper. I've watched
Oh,
all.
yeah.
I
And I
love
remember I
them.
was just sitting in the living room because I live at home with my mum, right, and my brother.
Mhm.
I was sitting on just watching TikTok. She walks by me and she goes, "Eh, "Turn it off!" Turn it off!" Like she cannot stand watching that shit at all. I'm like, I guess I'm not watching this on the big TV. No,
That's
it's
awesome.
so satisfying.
It
But I don't
is.
think I could get it. Like
It
I
is.
remember there was this clip, weirdly enough, on TikTok the other day.
Mhm.
It was this other doctor that deals with stuff like that. And she had a patient in that had, I guess, the same issue. But her office is huge, right? She's got several rooms for these patients, assuming several doctors were working there too. But every person in that building had to wear a mask because this woman's foot stank so much. I was like,
Oh, yes. They had to do that on the show,
woman.
too. Yeah.
I wonder if it's the same one then.
Oh, might be.
You might have seen.
On the, you mean on the with the, oh God, no, I don't even want to talk about it. Peter just next level disgust for me. Like
No,
people, like people, some people will be like, you know, I'm not watching horror movies. These are gross. But this foot show I'm watching, like,
It's be like, I left you guys alone for 1 week and you're talking about feet. Talking about feet. Same one.
But I kind of love that that phenomenon. I was talking to Gigi about it like before we started recording. I'm like,
Oh, Gigi, why did you send me that video, Gigi? Why?
no, stop watching it. we talked about it with like women mainly having this weird obsession with pimple popping.
It's true.
Listeners, Gigi's sending me feet videos now of that show.
She's sending us feed videos. It's getting worse. I'm not watching this shit. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for swearing. It ends for me with fits.
Let's move on to feet, okay? Let's not onto feet, from feet, please, for the love of God. Okay. I think I'm going to go into the movies I watched this week.
Okay.
And I'm also going to scroll away from that video you just sent, you meanie.
We just got our own personal horror in here. Oh, God.
It's weird, like, I'm quite happy, but like, yeah, and so in the movie, they chopped off her head and then they, like, pinned down her throat and ripped out her, like, liver. But you talk about feet, stuff like that, I'm like, ugh.
Why didn't they make a horror movie about it? Because, like, what is one of the worst scenes you can imagine still? Hostel, Achilles tendies.
Yeah.
Yuck.
Yeah. And yeah, no, that, anything, like any movie with Achilles tendons getting severed, and you just see it snap forward, because their leg, like, snaps forward, and oh, man. Okay. On a lighter note,
we gotta
found this
stand up
movie-
and get into a different topic on our feet.
Yeah.
Stop it. We'll just continue. Just overtune her.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Welcome to the show, guys, where we talk about feet exclusively. God, maybe that should be our next podcast. We talk about, like, Dr. Pimple Popper, and it's just Gigi talking about it and me going,
Us both. You can slowly hear me crying in the background, and you just.
That's so funny.
Okay, please continue.
Okay,
What else
so
have
if
you
any, I don't want. Do not cut any of this out. It stays. Okay, guys, come on. Straight faces here.
Mhm.
Whew. Right. So, I watched a movie called Sleep. Any y'all heard of this? Because I didn't hear about it till I saw it. Thing.
I've heard of Doctor
So,
Sleep.
Yeah,
No.
but not sleep.
A totally different movie, but you're close.
Mhm.
Sleep is a 2023 South Korean movie. A young expectant wife must figure out how to stop her husband's nightmarish sleepwalking habits before he harms himself or his family. Damn, like I really wasn't
Damn.
expecting much going into this movie. It kind of starts off where like she wakes up and he's not in bed, and then suddenly he's back in bed, and then she felt like she didn't have a good enough sleep, like she was disturbed but not enough to wake up. And she leaves the house the next day, and the neighbors like, what's going on? I hear these screaming and weird noises at night, and it sounds like you're throwing stuff about. And she's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, we're sleeping all night. But as the movie progresses, she finally sees her husband sleepwalking, and he's getting progressively more dangerous. And she's worrying because she's like 8 months pregnant,
Mm.
and she's got a husband who's stressed out. The doctors say it's stress, and they're trying to find a way to manage it. And I just saw that it was horror. It was called Sleep, and went into it. I never really done research into it. But this was a really fantastic movie, and it kind of dives quite into like vengeful spirits, shamanism, witchcraft, and it really does have like an element from a lot of different horror genres. I wouldn't say the budget's too high, but it's not low either. It kind of almost felt like K-drama TV movie level, but still very enjoyable. If you're looking for something that's just kind of chill and you like shamanism and vengeful spirits, so maybe that would be your cup of tea, Gigi.
Mm.
This is definitely one to watch. Like, I really, really enjoyed this.
Like, it's especially scary when you are a person that's sleepwalking. Because
and
I do sleepwalk.
Oh, you do?
I do, but like not in the sense that I can fill videos with it where people laugh their ass off. I just talk about random stuff.
If it was a woman who wasn't pregnant, it takes that element of danger, but as it progresses, like, you begin to worry for her baby and her baby's future, because it is getting worse with like every month that passes by. And I will say it has a really, really surprising nice twist ending. You're like, oh, okay, damn, that was nice. So yeah, it was a really enjoyable watch.
Is it really gonna be like, damn, that was nice, or is it gonna be like, damn, that was devastating, but nice?
Just nice, like you didn't really expect it. You're like, okay, cool, yeah, I can get on board with this little twist.
I don't really trust you with that.
I know, I've been giving Lena some heartbreakers to watch.
Every time Jasper is like, that's such a good movie, you should totally watch it. I'm 20 minutes in, and I'm like, oh god, no, what did you make me watch? Oh no.
But not make you watch in a bad way. Like, I know you enjoy them, but like,
I'm just suffering.
I'm making Lena suffer. Like, I'm sorry. Okay, well, this one isn't a sad one, but this one, have you heard of Red Rooms, which again came out last year?
I think, yeah.
This is a French movie. A model becomes obsessed with a high-profile murder trial. And yeah, so it starts off like this very bright white courtroom, and you find out that this guy who, it's never quite confirmed that it's him who actually committed the murders, but he's there because he's allegedly, as the defenders say, or his attorneys rather, killed 3 girls and on video and then sold them to red rooms. But the man in the videos is like wearing a balaclava, so his attorney's like, how can you possibly prove it's my client? And of course this woman she's lining up every morning, like she's outside the court at 4 a.m. every day to be there and I guess support him in a weird way.
So she doesn't believe he did it.
Yes.
Okay.
And she meets other supporters there along the way that believes he didn't do this either. But you find out, and I don't want to spoil this because you find out, her and the other supporters are there for very different reasons. Very different. And it was a really nice paced movie. The cast was good. There was not a lot of sets. I think it went from street, court to a sports place and her house, and that was about it. But they were all like really nicely designed, and I wasn't. You kind of question like why are you there? And a lot of the time I was like, okay, did she have something to do? Was it her that like made the videos? Is she an accomplice to this guy? Was she one of the red room buyers? Like, you're constantly asking, why the fuck are you in this courtroom? You know why?
Oh, you don't know why she's obsessed with it.
Yeah, you don't know until maybe literally the last 10-15 minutes in the movie, and then you're like, okay, cool, I can get on board with this. So I put it on just as a random watch. I think I was doing some other stuff, and I ended up sitting glued to the screen the entire time. Red Rooms 2023, it's definitely one to watch. And let's get ready for Jasper's Tubi movie of the week. They seem to be releasing a Tubi movie every week. I don't know how they're doing it because I saw on Twitter that they're releasing one this week, which I will speak about next week. This one was called Pray for the Bride. A group of bridesmaids, travel to Napa for a bachelorette party and find themselves in a great danger as a man wearing a wolf mask seeks revenge for the death of his friend. This one, again, I'll say the same with every Tubi movie. The gore's really good. They have some really good gore scenes. The sets are nice. It's kind of different for each Tubi movie. The actresses, there was a mixed bag of talent there. Let's just say, like some were good with their acting, some not so much. I have praised every Tubi movie I've watched so far for having a really good twist ending, but I did actually figure this one out pretty much near the start. But it was
like why they get chased, you mean?
No, yeah. Like, why is this going on? But not so much. Well, the twist. You know how there's always just like a little twist in them. Where you're like, oh, I didn't expect that, and they had that Willow Lives, but they had that kind of in the middle of the movie. Another one, which was the body one. I can't remember. That was the one where they were sent to a sex camp like a church, because they were all sex addicts.
Oh yeah.
That had like a nice little twist. This one again had the twist, but I think maybe I knew the twist because it's something that's been done before, whereas the other ones they've been done but not as much.
Okay.
So yeah, it was okay. It's got a rating of 4.8 on IMDb, and I think that's quite justified. So again, if you're wanting to put something on while you're doing chores or just hungover, then Pray for the Bride. Yes. Bag of Lies, I actually just watched this today. This came out this year. It's a dread film. Desperate to save his dying wife, Matt turns to the bag, an ancient relic with dark magic, The cure demands a chilling ritual and strict rules. As his wife heals, Matt's sanity unravels, facing terrifying consequences. So this is bad. I really just didn't. I didn't enjoy this. The concept of the monster, like he's got his dying wife, and he gets given this bag by this shady guy, and he's given a ritual to perform that if he doesn't stick by, bad shit'll happen. Well, one of the parts of the ritual was once you close the door, like you've got to keep the bag in a room. Once you close the door, do not go back in. Okay, so he closes the door behind him. His lighter falls out his pocket, and he's like, "Okay, I'm going to open the door and get this lighter." I'm like, "Bro, like, why? It's a lighter. It's like it costs like $1. Go get another one. You've just ruined the ritual." And now I know how the movie's going to play out. The acting was kind of subpar. Yeah, this is definitely a pass. We don't have to do a deep dive into this. It was just meh.
Okay.
And the last movie, which I did make Lena watch, was Pandemonium, which came out last year. This is a French movie, and after realizing he has died at the scene of a car crash, Nathan descends into the depths of hell, where he is doomed to experience the pain of tortured souls along the way.
Oh, God.
My God, dude. Man. So, I posted this on Cold Dead Heart, and I'd actually tagged Ken in it and said, "Man, this is not one to sleep on. You should watch this." And then Lena jumped in and was like, "Oh, okay, this I'm kind of interested."
Yeah, because I just have to scooch in there. One of my favorite books I've read, which isn't horror related, but it's about a woman taking her own life, and then kind of seeing, like, getting put onto this journey by a spirit of, like, how her life could have been if she made different decisions in her life, and how others' life could have been. I know it's not 100% like this movie, but I love these kind of what happens after death movies, like what happens and being faced with your consequences, being faced with your life again. I love these kind of movies. I just wanted to hop in.
So he kind of, there's a reason why he is sent to the depths of hell, and I'm not going to spoil it too much. Gigi wants to watch this as well, and for our listeners, like, I don't want to spoil it for you because I feel like you guys really should watch
Definitely.
This. He goes into the depths of hell, and there's a scene where it's like this cracked ground, and littered all along the ground are these bodies, and he kind of goes from body to body, and they like tell their own story. And there was one particular story where I felt pain and sadness in my chest so hard. Like, I was nearly crying. I'm like, this is a horror movie and it's making me like nearly cry. Please help me.
It was, oh my God.
When Lena says, "Okay, I'm going to watch this," I says, "Okay, you don't have to say how you enjoyed it, because I know we're going to talk about it, but send me a gif of how that made you feel." And Lena sent a gif where Walter White is like breaking down and just falls to the ground and they're crying. I was like, "Yep, that's exactly how this movie made me feel."
Yeah, it's excruciating. That movie is beautiful. I think it's wonderfully shot. It only got, which I didn't mind. Like, I was surprised, but I didn't mind it at all. It only got 2 stories, like two short stories to tell about other people. And I remember looking at the time, how long the movie's still running. I'm like, damn, is it almost over? That was fast.
The first story, I felt like kind of dragged. They could have shortened that down, that first one.
Definitely. Definitely.
And that would have gave them more time to even add in like a third story. But At first, the movie intrigued me. For the first 15 minutes, I'm like, I'm very intrigued. The set design's beautiful. Like, and, you know, at the second half, the second chapter, I'm laughing. I'm like, this is hilarious. This is so stupid. The third, I'm crying. And by the end, I'm just stumped because this movie has put me through so many emotions. I just don't know how to feel right now. Like, it's been a while since a horror movie's made me feel all of those emotions just in an hour and a half.
I'm gonna be honest, I kind of laughed at the ending as well.
Yeah, the ending was fun. I didn't know how they were going to end it. You know, I didn't know how they were going to go.
So
with it.
funny.
Really, fun, good ending. So please, listeners, if you're looking for a movie,
just watch it. I'm just gonna drop a thought that I'm giving with everyone, because it's very hard to evaluate. Because in my opinion, the main character didn't deserve to be where he is. Nope. That's just my thought.
Nope.
But I don't think he deserved it. And everyone has their own thought about that situation. Mm-hmm. But I'm not going to spoil you on this one. Make your own opinion.
So, I know that when it's my turn to choose a movie, I'm going to choose this. I feel like it really deserves like a good deep dive. Just take a full spoiler chat about it.
I feel like a lot of people that are in this depth, I'm just going to say, don't deserve it in my opinion, but maybe in others. So.
Yeah. I mean, it's went into my top 20. It's absolutely fantastic.
It's so good, yeah.
So, you know, that's all I watched this week. And we'll kind of move on to the plugs here. Okay. We have a Twitter, which is at Cold Dead Hearts. And you can find a link to our Discord there. There was a brief mention of Widder, and they're at Widder Novels on Twitter, and you can find their Discord a link to ours. There's a portal there as well, and all the links for our content creator will be posted below the video if you want to check out what Brumble is doing with Arcanium at Grim Entertainments. So thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening, dear listeners. And we appreciate you from the bottom of our cold, dead hearts.